So as most of y'all know, I'm a huge Elvis fan, and I love chasing down memorabilia, specifically Elvis related. Elvis, of course, gave away cars like candy to strangers, to his entourage, to family members. As many as possibly 300 plus automobiles he's owned and given away. Not even counting boats and motorcycles and snowmobiles. But in reference to the cars, he of course was known for Cadillacs and Lincolns. I got to know a family several years ago that live in the Midwest here, and they have an automobile collection, and they've amassed a string of cars that belong to Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis. Well, we're going to head there today. We're going to meet the family, and we're going to look at all the cars that they own, many of which belong to Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis. Thanks so much for bringing me out here today. I can't wait to get in here and see what you got.
Yeah, get in here, because I'm not an Eskimo. I'm from the South. I like heat.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, here you are, the barn.
Wow, it's amazing. Where do we get started? So, 46 Ford.
Yeah, that
Coupe.
was Vernon's.
Okay.
And
Elvis's father.
Elvis's father, it's still titled to him. I never changed the title over. It sat behind Graceland until Vernon died. And then it ended up in a car auction over in the top part of Mississippi. I don't remember where it's at over now. Anyway, and I bought it over there.
Okay. And you've had it since the 80s.
Yeah, I've had it since the 80s. I think Scott said it was 83.
Okay. And the gentleman that brought it back to Graceland when Elvis and Vernon were there, that would have been probably in the 60s? 1960s probably?
That title is 1963, I think.
Okay,
on that title when he bought it back. There may be a copy of it in there or in the trunk.
I'm pretty sure I've got photos, I want to say, of this car sitting in the carport, and I'll get those to you.
You could
yeah, and that's during Elvis's lifetime. Supposedly the car that brought the family up from Tupelo to Memphis.
Probably was, because he had owned this car before and had gotten rid of it. And then after Elvis had got famous, some guy brings it up to the gate and told him that he had, I think Gary Pepper's dad's one that was there, I'm not sure.
That worked at the
But
gates,
anyway, told
sure.
him it had Vernon's old car and wanted to know if he'd want to buy it back. Anyway, they called up the house, and Vernon sent, I think it was Joe Esposito down, looked at the car, and he looked at the car and paperwork and decided it was. He let him up the hill with it, and Vernon decided, yeah, that was his old car, so he bought it back.
Okay, stop right there. This is where the story gets complicated. Our friend here states that this car was brought to the gates at Graceland and presented to Vernon as the car that the Presleys came from Tupelo to Memphis in. I've always heard that story myself, but here's where it takes a left-hand turn. I've spoken with Becky Yancey, who was a secretary at Graceland for years, and even prior to speaking with her, as much as 35 years ago, I clipped a newspaper article as a kid about this car being presented as possibly the car that the family came up from Tupelo in. But Becky Yancey said that is not the case, that this car was bought by Vernon to restore and flip because he had a notion to be in the car restoration business, and Elvis was basically fronting him the money to do so. So, after speaking with Becky again recently, she's confirmed the same again. She maintains the story that, in fact, this car was not the one from Tupelo, but it's a car Vernon bought to restore and make money on. So we don't want to undermine the credibility of our friend here, but we do believe that this is not the car from Tupelo, but this is a car that Vernon did in fact buy to restore to make money.
Then took to Lamb's Body Shop, I believe it was Lamb's, and had it repainted,
Redone.
chrome interior put back in it. And then the story was that Lamb's charged him $11,000 and Vernon wouldn't pay it. He made them take him to court, and court made him settle for, I think it's $1,400. But anyway,
they're going to gouge him because his last name was Presley.
yeah,
right?
they thought they'd gouge him because it was Elvis's dad, you know. But hey, Vernon didn't let that happen apparently.
So Elvis and Vernon had it for half the time, and you've had it for the other half. Okay.
Yeah, an important guy had it first, and then a nobody had it next.
1990, Lincoln, big sedan, Jerry Lee Lewis's car.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was president. Ford Motor Company made him a new Lincoln every year. Put a special top on it, looked like a short limo. Put presidential seal on the side.
Okay.
And put the word presidential instead of Lincoln or what it was they had on them. But he made a few copies, what it was. Like say, somebody like me couldn't get one, but Jerry Lee was offered one. But Jerry had to buy his. His was usually like $53,000, $55,000.
Stop right there. Rock and roll factoid. Jerry Lee Lewis often had his friends and associates buy cars for him with his cash to avoid any further issues with the IRS. 73 Lincoln, Mark IV. And I've learned today that Elvis bought this car for himself, drove it on the West Coast,
Right.
and then he gave it to your all's friend Peggy Schaefer.
Pearl
Schaefer. Okay, Pearl Schaefer.
Which was a very close friend of his.
Okay.
Extremely close.
If I'm not mistaken, you have a ring. Didn't Elvis give Pearl? Don't you have a ring as well?
Yeah, I've got a ring.
I remember you showed that to me at one time.
He gave to Pearl's husband.
Okay.
All right. And then Pearl, it was years after that, and after he's dead and Elvis dead and all that. Anyway, she said she just thought he would like for me to have it. I don't know.
Wow.
I've still got it.
Nice. And so that couple had the movie theaters in Memphis.
They had the.
And Elvis would rent from
She
them.
owned a chain of theaters. Pearl did.
So they were rather successful.
Yeah.
So they could have bought their own Lincoln, but Elvis.
Oh yeah.
Elvis
But
wanted
he
to give her a
wanted to
car.
buy her. He had bought her a rose-colored Cadillac the year before, and she still had it. And said she tried to tell him, Elvis, the Cadillac's still, new.
Good
It's
shape,
still good.
yeah.
No, he wanted her to have a Lincoln.
You
So
need to track down that Cadillac.
I said, what color you want? She said, well, you get one on a white one or on the white one in Memphis. And he flew a couple of guys out to California to bring this one back for her.
I see.
And
Wow.
anyway,
What's a beautiful car, great story. Your son's told me a 73 model.
yeah, so
Cadillac.
this was Jerry Lee's.
Another Jerry Lee Lewis car.
Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Okay.
He bought it for one of his wives. I believe it was Jared.
So Jerry Lee Lewis bought this for his wife. It's a 73 Cadillac Eldorado convertible.
Right.
Which your son was sharing with me was the pace car in
Right.
73 at the Indy 500.
There was something special about it. I remember it's got that emblem on it.
It's a big car. So 66 Buick GS.
Yeah, 66 Buick Wildcat GS.
Oh, Wildcat GS.
Uh-huh.
And you and Jerry Lee Lewis were tight. You let him drive this
Yeah, I let
for a
him
while.
have this 1 year. He drove it all summer.
No kidding. Okay.
And
Wow. Jerry Lee liked the convertibles.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do we got in here?
This is the top Elvis car. This is a prized possession of all the Elvis cars.
All right. So this is the gem.
This is it. This
right.
is the Hound Dog car.
The Hound Dog car. All right.
Yeah, 24 karat gold, crushed diamonds, white mink.
Wow. Show me the prized Elvis car here.
Yeah, it got it over here.
All right. I see a glimpse of it.
Kind of crowded. All right, here you go.
So
If you had it in the light now where you could see it, you could see all the crushed diamonds in there. It's got 40 coats of paint.
unbelievable.
Layered in 24 karat gold here. Got bulletproof tires.
For real? They're really bulletproof tires?
Yeah, for real, it's bulletproof tires.
Wow.
And we've got the real Hound Dog off in the safe, but it's identical to this one, same size, everything. 24 karat gold.
Wow.
And like I say, if it had it out in the sun and had it clean, you could see the diamonds shining in it.
So it's got real diamonds crushed into the
Yeah,
paint.
there's real diamonds crushed in all the white paint.
And I see EP
It's got
on the wheel covers.
TV in it on the other side, which he had in it when he had the car, and he had a camera, closed circuit camera, where he could watch people watching him. Yeah, the TV is still in there. Someone swiped the camera a long time ago. There's an 8-track player in there, which I was told back that time that he put the player in, or at least was involved in putting it in. And
This is kind of like a gold lame.
that's a gold LMA. That's what that is.
So from a history standpoint with Elvis in this car, so you're telling me he had this custom made for himself?
By George Barris.
George Barris, okay. Which famous car guy did
Yeah.
involved in the Batmobile, Monkey
Right,
Mobile, that
Batmobiles and
era
all
of
them.
vehicles.
And Barris told me after I bought this car that he still had the paperwork that Elvis signed for him, you know, when he bought it. But I never did get it. I don't know.
And I know George has passed away.
Yeah,
recently.
he's gone now.
Yeah. I had met him in California. Seeing this car, I'd have loved to have picked his brain, but you got a chance to. So is this, and forgive me, 68?
69.
69,
I
okay.
think 69.
Okay. Mark III.
Yeah.
69 Mark III. So George Barris looks like it's got like faux fur interior.
Yeah.
And a lot of custom
and
entities.
The trunk's also lined with the same material.
Oh, okay.
And spare tire cover made out of it.
Wow. I'm seeing
got his initials in the wheel, and the hubcap's got his initials sewn in the floor, EP.
So at what point do you know when Elvis took possession of the car?
No, I don't. I do have the paperwork on it, though, along with his warranty card and all of that.
And it's all in Elvis's name?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
It was all in his name.
So this would have been built for Elvis in 69, or did he take it? Okay, so it's not like he took a 69 model and did it for Elvis.
No, it was built when it was new.
Okay. Have you talked to any of the Memphis Mafia, any of those guys pertaining to this vehicle, like Joe Esposito or...
Well, see, like Richard Davis was my very best friend for years.
Okay.
And, anyway, in fact, Richard's wife and their triplets came by to see me about a year ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
okay.
That was good, yeah.
Okay.
Richard and I was very close. He was a very good friend.
I had just met her recently in Memphis, so I know who you speak of. I didn't meet the kids.
Yeah.
And I had met Richard way back, but you clearly were close with Richard.
Yeah.
And Richard, of course, did wardrobe and multiple other tasks for Elvis, and he and Elvis were close.
Yeah, he and Elvis was extremely close. He went through all the taekwondo and everything with Elvis.
Right.
And he could turn you upside down in a half a second.
So the hound dog that I'm looking at...
The real one we've got off.
Okay,
yeah,
because it's gold?
Identical to that one, except it's 24 karat gold.
Wow. And you had that made?
No. I think that's the one they used for a mold to make the real one.
I see, okay. Well, this is crazy. Unbelievable. Wow, I don't. I'm really speechless. I don't know what to say.
Good piece of history.
It really is, and it's kind of mysterious in the fact that trying to figure out where Elvis had it.
Yeah.
You know, and his reason to have it customized at George Barris. Is it conceivable? And I'm just asking, because I don't know. Is it conceivable? George was having it made for Elvis as a gift, possibly?
No, Elvis had it made.
Elvis commissioned this car.
Yeah, he had it made.
On the front end, okay.
Stop right there, put it in park. Okay, here's the situation. This car absolutely screams of George Barris, his workmanship, his design, his creativity. And it looks like something Elvis would have driven in that era. The loud, gaudy, just outrageous pimpmobile approach, if you will. The problem is there's no photo identification of any kind of this car with Elvis anywhere or at any of his homes. So it's a true mystery.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's multifaceted. Clearly Elvis is at the top of the list, but for George Barris to be involved.
It looks like Elvis, don't it?
Oh, absolutely. It screams Elvis. And George did what they call the solid gold Cadillac that's at the Country Music Hall of Fame. George Barris restored or customized that for Elvis on that 60 Cadillac limousine. Well, thank you so much for showing me this car. So Elvis 69 customized Mark III, customized by George Barris.
Be interesting if it was sitting somewhere besides in some nuts garage, wouldn't it?
Well, maybe we can work on that and get it out in the public for the public to enjoy.
Some country hick's got it sitting in his building out there where nobody can see it.
Wow. Fantastic. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Incredible collection.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they say the guy that dies with the most toys wins. I know I can't be a winner, but I just want to be in the run-up.
I think maybe you won after seeing what I've seen today.
And I appreciate it. It's my honor.
Thank you so
guys
much.
Have a great day.
So you're not going to believe what else we found in this area. After speaking with Richard, his son, Scott, is here, and he's going to show us some of his toys that are very Elvis related.
73 Kawasaki, built for Elvis, by a man by the name of Jim DeFew out of Benton, Kentucky.
Okay.
He built 2 bikes for Elvis. The story was, Dad talked to him, the story was he had a bike on the cover of a Chopper magazine,
Sure.
something, whatever it was. And Elvis had the guys call him and say, hey, we want you to build a couple bikes for Elvis. Sure. Didn't believe it. Well then, yeah, it turned out to be correct. And this was the one with the Springer front end, they called it.
I mean, this is what bike builders today, this is what they aspire to. I mean, this is original from the period.
And this is original craftsmanship at work.
Yeah.
I mean, when a guy takes it and builds everything on the bike and you come up with something like this, it's just, that's art.
The lineage regarding Elvis, do you know from at what point there was, did Elvis potentially take delivery of it, or it was built?
I'm not really sure. I'm sure he did. But the bike ended up in Kentucky, back in Kentucky when we got it.
Okay.
Dad had talked to Jim about getting copies of the paperwork.
Sure.
But Jim had had a fire at his shop and it ruined all of the paperwork he had, along with a 32, I think it was, Ford that he was really distraught over.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I had talked to Jim, it's been years ago, at a Super Chevy show in Memphis, and he remembered the bike and what have you, and building it. And but there again, there's just, you hate to say it, but there's no paperwork trail because it was destroyed.
No, understood.
You know?
And those things happen, which it makes things a little bit more maybe interesting for you and I, our types, to go out and discover.
And try to find it.
Yeah, try and find it, exactly.
Okay, this bike has me revved up. Here's the scenario. Once again, a bike attributed to Elvis, custom build, beautiful bike, screams of the late 60s, early 70s. Beautiful bike all the way around, but no photo identification of Elvis with this bike.
So this is awesome, but I know you got other toys to show us that
Got a
are
couple
Elvis
others.
related.
Yes,
So
sure do.
Can you show me? Is that cool?
Let's go.
All right, man.
Here's the other 2.
Okay. Elvis cars right
2
here.
Elvis cars. This is the car that he bought for Linda Thompson when he was dating her.
Okay. Hee Haw Honey, Linda Thompson.
Hee Haw Honey, Miss Tennessee.
Yes, correct.
And she actually had the house on Old Hickory.
Right, correct.
Just around the corner.
Yep, around the corner from Graceland.
But the story is that when this car came in, they jumped into it, made a road trip to Rome, Georgia to have the moonroof put in.
Wow, okay. Something I didn't know.
This is actually the car that was in the lineup on some of the postcards.
Yes, I was just getting ready to say, I know the postcard. In fact, I've got some pictures fans had taken of this car in front of the house besides the postcard. Yep,
Yeah,
parked behind
there's the old
Stutz.
post. Yeah, behind the Stutz and in front of the Mercedes.
600 Pullman, and then the Lincoln Stretch limousine. Yep. And yeah, those are famous shots. But that's the car right here.
Right.
So Linda obviously was visiting or hanging out there with Elvis that day, and the car's in front.
Apparently.
And certainly have seen those on postcards.
This is actually just a blow up that we had done of it.
Yeah. There it is, right
And-
in front of Graceland.
The license plate is still on the car.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
Same plate.
Same plate.
Wow.
This is a copy of the paperwork from.
But, you know, this is what makes, to me, a difference from a car owned and a car gifted. Elvis gave this to her. They were dating.
Right.
She was at Graceland, so Elvis would have driven this car plenty. And ridden
Yeah,
it,
see,
of
this
course.
was in Linda Thompson's name.
Oh, okay. So he put it right in her name.
He
but
put it right in her name.
guaranteed, though, Elvis drove this
Yes.
and rode in it many
Yes.
times. Well, it's beautiful. This is original paint?
Original paint.
Wow.
Car's
Original interior.
Original interior. Car has about 28,000 miles.
Oh, still a time capsule.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still have all the stickers.
Oh, nice.
City stickers.
Wow.
But like I said, the original plate is still on it from when Linda had it.
How long has you had it? Your family had it here?
Since early 80s.
Wow. You get out and drive it at all?
Nah.
No.
No, we'll start it up every now and then.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's beautiful.
But,
I mean, to me, this is the right color.
Oh, they're beautiful cars.
Just a
Body
beautiful,
lines. I mean, they're just classy.
Wow. Even had the pinstripe.
Hand painted pinstripe. Yeah.
Which I've noticed too. Some of them have some of the bright work down the doors, the ding stoppers,
Right.
And some don't. But this one looks like it's fully dressed,
Right.
with the velour interior. Wow, really beautiful, man. Great history. So tell me about the Cadillac here.
76.
Yep.
Seville. Dad always told me that it was bought for a policeman that handled his security at his concerts in Denver.
Okay.
It was bought at Jack Kent Cadillac.
I saw that on the back.
Yeah.
Would it have been Kennedy? Pietrafesso?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
I'm friends with Ron Pietrafesso. In fact, I'm working with him now on some of the things Elvis gave him to sell. And Kennedy, Ron Pietrafesso, his brother, they were all cops in Denver. And Elvis was close with them 73, 74, 75, 76 during that period. Elvis would vacation out there. He not only played in Denver concert-wise, but he vacationed, snowmobiled out there. And so this is one of those stable of cars he gave away to the Denver cop, is what you're telling me.
Right.
Okay.
Richard Davis was telling Dad also that, and it was about the time that he gave this car away. Of course, policemen aren't supposed to accept gifts.
Yes, correct.
But anyway, there was a DJ on the radio talking about Elvis giving away a car. And they ended up, Elvis called the radio station and told him to go out to Jack Kent and pick him one out because of what he had said about him, about being nice.
Right.
You know. I don't know, but Richard Davis was telling Dad about that.
Okay. Well, then you've just completed a story for me. This is one of 3 that Elvis picked out. There's a triple green, I think an emerald green Cadillac, Eldorado, 76. And I knew there was 2 other Cadillacs. Elvis went to a Cadillac dealership. He saw the emerald green one, and I'm saying emerald. I'm not sure if that's a correct code
term or whatever, but
emerald green Eldorado. He saw that car, had them call the dealer, and said, "Open up the dealer." And the dealer came down. Elvis bought 3 cars that night.
Okay.
The Eldorado off the showroom floor, the one that was purchased for the radio guy, and then this one is the 3rd one.
Okay.
Is that?
That could be. I'm not really sure on all that, Steve.
I think you and I are connecting the dots here. I think
that could be.
Because I've wondered what the 3rd car was. In fact, some Elvis aficionados like myself have asked, and I was like, I'm going to find out because I know where the other 2 are at.
Okay.
I've located them, and I know who owns them. I think I just found the 3rd one.
The 3rd one.
You've got it.
Could be.
Wow. Man. I think we're
That's pretty
we're
good.
putting a puzzle together here. Elvis was so close with those cops. He even went and attended a funeral where one of the cops had passed away, and Elvis wanted to be incognito. He borrowed a policeman's outfit, the hat and the full dress.
Oh, heck.
And went as a policeman. And there's pictures of Elvis at the funeral dressed as a policeman. And they all went out afterwards to a restaurant, and he wanted to be incognito, but he's in the restaurant, and he started to get a little bit bummed that people weren't recognizing him. So he got up from the dinner table where they were all, and started walking around and introducing himself, but before he said who he was, he'd go up to the table and say, "Hey, y'all having a good meal here tonight?" And the people were like, yeah, you kind of look like Elvis. And he's like, "Well, I actually am." So he told the people in the restaurant, and the next thing you know, there's like, a crowd around the table wanting to talk to him. They realize it's Elvis. He's in a police uniform. So that was during that era.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. So that's how close he was with a lot of those police officers. But I recognize that name as being one of those inner circle people in Denver. So,
okay.
Wow. Got to tell you, thanks so much today for showing me more Elvis cars. And it's so cool that we've connected the dots on the history you knew
Yes,
of
it
this
is.
car and what I brought to the table. I think we've pieced together that this was, in fact, the third car that Elvis bought in Denver that day in '76 and gave
Very
away.
well
So
could be.
we
It's
solved
good to know.
Yeah, solved a little bit of a mystery. So thanks so much.
Appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate it. And as we were leaving, he tells me about one more Elvis car.
It was one that Elvis bought for Billy Smith,
His cousin.
his cousin.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. He bought, and you might know this, my understanding, he bought his and hers for
Okay.
Billy and Billy's wife.
Could
both
be.
Both in this color. They're slightly different. The reason I'm saying this, if I'm not mistaken, there's pictures of Elvis driving the mate to this car.
Okay.
Up the gates, up through the gates of Graceland.
Uh-huh.
And I've asked around, that car was sold to a friend of a friend. She passed away. An Elvis tribute artist, impersonator, bought it, I believe, and it's been since restored.
Well, good.
So the mate to that car has been restored. So this one was bought for Billy, and then the other one would have been bought for his
Bought
wife.
for his wife.
It's got moonroof,
Had the vinyl top.
vinyl top, and
The
it's
Landau
got the extra bright work, as I call
Right.
it.
It was in stored outside when we bought it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, it needs restored, but it is a piece of history.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
No, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yep. Kind of a burgundy leather.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can see where, really though, I mean, it's solid. It's all
The car
here.
is solid.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
it is. It's a
a
solid
lot of
car.
cosmetic and
Yeah.
but original motor and all. so-
Original motor.
Wow.
Running gear. Yes, sir.
So this is kind of the documentation you've put in the corner.
It's that it was there when I bought the car.
Okay.
Yeah. The
But
previous owner
I've never
had
seen
put it
this
in.
photo. That's this car in front of Graceland.
It's supposed to be.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure, from my understanding, there's two of these in this color. Unless there's some additional ones in this color in 75 or 6. I'm aware of two, and this looks like this is this car in that photo to me.
It appears to be.
And wow, I've never seen that photo. Man. For sale?
You know. Not necessarily. Of course,
had
I
to
guess
ask.
if the money's right.
Yeah,
but
right, okay. Wow. Well, man, I got to tell you, thank you so much. Seriously,
we
fantastic.
appreciate it, too.
Yeah,
Glad to
man,
talk to you.
really appreciate you opening up the barn.